When Olympus decided to sell their camera company to a Japanese sushi company in order to focus more on the cameras that can peek inside your colon for medical purposes, they didn't realize that stealing lens designs from Sigma wasn't in the plans to further their advancement as humankind. But we have discovered that lying and stealing are bad. And Olympus, that's why your OM1 system sucks. And we discuss it today.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
We're on the Canon R5C in something like a 6K RAW with a super 35mm crop on a 35mm 1.8. It's raw, though. Thank you, Camera Canada, for not cooking it beforehand. So I figure we have a little Olympus discussion today after playing with the OM1 for a week. I have some thoughts on that as my sum up, and a new discovery, some juicy details. The 100-400, a Sigma 100-400 replica, proven by science. Oh, you'll see the science. Olympus, let's just get this lens thing out of the way. I wonder, somebody left a comment many months ago saying that Olympus 100-400, that's just a Sigma replica. It's a design. I was like, whatever, monkey. That's a nice conspiracy theory. I'm all for those. But you have no basis in reality until I looked it up myself. And the designs. Here we have the Olympus up top, Sigma lens down at the bottom. Those are freaking identical. I've looked up other zooms in this range. They're nothing like this. This is like, except for like the blue shades, you could argue that those are just designs to make the design look cool, and they're not actually, if you ignore those, it's the same lens. And I'm afraid. I can't guarantee that there was a boardroom meeting between Olympus and Sigma to deceive us, but it feels like there was. Oh, hey, Sigma. Nice lenses. I love your lenses. They're heavy, and that's a good thing nowadays, because we're weak as a people. We need to build the strength. I love your designs. We should collab or something. Totally. Let's do this. Let's work together. Let's build a lens. You lack what we have, I think. We could do a telephoto lens together. I think you're onto something here. Our telephoto lens, that's 75-300. My baby brother made that in his shed, a little tool shed with a Fisher-Price hammer. That thing sucks. We know that. And then we have the 300mm prime. It's a bit high-end for such shit results. You know what I mean? We need some kind of zoom in the mid-range. Do you have any ideas? You know, instead of making a new lens, we do have a 100-400. We could just give you the formula and you put it inside one of your bodies, give us a 40% cut, and that saves us a lot of hard work. What do you think of that? But if we use your formula, it won't have sync stabilization for video and it will be unusable. We couldn't possibly do that to our fan base. There's a lot of video shooters, at least 1% of our audience. No, I will not do that. How about if I only take 6% of the sales? You win? Okay, signed. That is done deal. I feel like I undershot that one. I was up at 40%. Why did I lower it so much? Oh, my family will not be able to eat. Oh, what was I thinking? My wife's gonna kill me. I am bad at this. Wow. Why is that light flashing? There's a red light flashing. That makes me nervous, man. I don't know if it's the battery or the CF Express card is filled up. I'm shooting in RAW. Why am I doing this? So this Olympus 100-400, it would make sense if Sigma gave them that formula, because it doesn't have sync stab. It feels like it's not an Olympus lens. It's a Sigma at heart. Well, why though? Why? Just for a cut of the money, Sigma? Are you that shallow? Just in case you were wondering what that flashing red light was, I found out. It's when the CF Express card is full, it just continues to flash, knowing that your video is already done. It's no longer recording, but it's flashing you, telling you that This is not recording. Not recording right now. Stop what you're doing. So I talked on for a good half an hour and I wasn't even recording. Thank you. It said record on the screen, but it was not recording. So I'm just gonna, the next clip, it cuts off and I'm gonna mime the rest of the video. There's something about that lens that is just off. Not only the sync stabe not working, that's just weird. To have lens, optical stabe, and IBIS, but somehow they don't speak to each other and they can't figure out who to dance, who's gonna lead that dance. Sigma, also the Olympus manual focus is so jumpy and unreliable, I couldn't believe it. I don't know if it was just the copy I tried, but the kit lens is fine. Like, it's smooth, it's good, it's reliable, linear. And then the 100 to 400, like little movements, it jumps, it hunts. Frickin', it was on my same camera, same settings. Nothing changed. It was like, this is unusable. So like, it's a giant leap for mankind to go from that kit lens that's flashing faster now. That's not morning, that's an aggressive flash right there. I don't like that, Canon. You calm down. From that kit lens, 75 to 300 to the 300mm prime, thousands, and weight. There's a barbell in there. I don't know, man. And then another astronomical leap to the 150 to 400. It's a head scratcher. Nobody's putting that kind of money into Micro Four Thirds and not regretting it. Because people have done it, but they do not sleep at night. The real question here is, did Olympus steal Sigma's lens design, or was it given to them? According to the boardroom meeting, there could have been a collab, but I feel like there was thievery afoot. I don't know, man. I think Nikon just did this. They came out with their 28 to 75 and everyone's like, that's the same formula as the Tamron lens. It's just like a rebranded Tamron lens. Tamron gets a cut, they make the lens. I don't get what's the point of that? Why doesn't Tamron just make a Z mount version of their lens? There's some the president kiboshed that whole thing. He's like, no, do not make one. We will make it. We'll make the shell of it. And then we'll give you 6%. That's a bad deal. When it comes to the OM1, I really almost wanted to get that 300mm prime just for the simplicity of it. It's nice to have the zoom range, like a 100 to 400. You see the bird at 100, then you zoom in if you want to. You have the options not to. That's nice, but there's another simplicity in the field effect where you only have a prime. You don't have to worry about zooming. You just point and try to get it. And your only focus is focusing and composition. It just removes one of the things from the equation that you have to think about. Then it's like, yeah, and sync stabe with the OM1, but I tell you, there's so many deal breakers in that OM1. One, it freezes. It just stops working. Just you gotta yank the battery. Something's wrong with it. I don't know why. Two, the switches. It's not a video shooter's camera at all. They don't think about you. They don't like you as a video shooter. Everything switches to program auto in the custom modes. Like, why would that happen? You're set in aperture priority like a filmmaker should be. And then you press record and it switches everything. You're like, why? I just saved everything here. Switching from human face to bird eye detect in video is like multiple menu dives of turning continuous autofocus with tracking to just continuous autofocus, and then turning subject detection on or off, and then face detection. 3 different things in 3 different areas to get the same eye of a mammal. We're the same. We're the same. In order for me to buy that 300mm prime and the OM1, I just need a couple tweaks, one firmware. These are my demands. Custom modes in video. Every setting in video saved to a custom mode. No gimmicks, no limits. C1 to C4, boom. I'm switching easy. Okay, that solves the major problem. Stop freezing. I don't want to be yanking batteries. I'll yank your mom. 3, no more autofocus weirdness. Actually, I could save that to the custom mode, so you keep your weirdness. I don't mind. C1 is animals, C4 is humans. Allow us 10-bit in flat. I don't know why that's not a thing. You can only shoot log or HLG, which is hella green mode. It's disgusting. 10-bit in flat. Let us choose the sharpness level of the log and other profiles, and the codec of your 120 frames and 240. Let me lower the sharpness of that. It looks cheap and nasty. It's nasty. And add 4K 120p. That should have been in there. You know that. If you could do that, you might have something. You would have something. There's no might. 300mm prime, we're done. That thing's almost a macro lens. You have some capabilities in there. And shoot RAW. I like the idea of a huge crop in RAW like this camera can do. That's magic. That is so magical. I'm gonna make another video. I'm gonna go out with it again. Even though the exposure won't change automatically, I'll deal with that and we'll get some shots. So, I think we're done. We learned nothing other than Olympus. That was a fail ditch effort. You didn't try very hard with this OM1. It's a new company. I don't like the future path for you guys. I don't know where you're headed. There's bad places. It certainly isn't RAW. Canon RAW. This white balance looks a little off, but it's RAW. I'll adjust it later in post. Oh, adjust confirmed. So I'm gonna leave. Thank you for buying everything mentioned in today's video at the same time through my affiliate links down below. And thank you Camera Canada for lending me this for so long. And I'm using it for what its intended purposes was. RAW recording in your home with that flashing light the whole time, but it recorded. 3 terabytes of data later, and I have a YouTube video. I'm gonna go. Subscribe. That was an interesting effort. Okay, this was good content.